So, good afternoon. Really happy to be here. Today is 10th of October. It also happens to be World Mental Health Day. So, happy World Mental Health Day. And I'm going to use this time that we have post-lunch and before we begin the next leg of the learning experience to just take a pause. So, I won't have more than this slide today to show you, and because this is really all about practice. So take a pause. I'm going to guide us in a practice for about 15, 20 minutes or so. Let's talk about pausing. A pause can vary in duration of time. It can last a year if you're taking a sabbatical. It can last 10 minutes if you are on a coffee break. It can last a week if you're going on holiday. And a pause can also happen in just a moment in the midst of a very intense conversation or in the middle of a crisis where you're using this particular moment to take ownership of how you might want to engage with your experience and to realize that we do have the autonomy to choose a healthier and wiser response. So a pause can make all the difference between an emotional reaction and a more skillful response. It makes a difference between a more impulsive decision and a more thoughtful one, or between a destructive behavior and a more constructive one. So the thing about taking a pause is that this skill, this capacity doesn't come so readily for us nowadays. And so this is a skill that takes practice. So we're going to practice this via a meditation, a mindfulness meditation. I'm going to guide us in about 15 minutes of just paying attention. So for those of us who might be new to meditation, fret not. It's really a very simple practice of just paying attention to our experience. There is no need for us to try to achieve a specific state of mind. There's nowhere you need to go to escape to. And there is not even a need to empty the mind. We're simply learning to be with what is here and to be with the reality of your experience, however that may unfold for you. So this is what we're going to do. And all you need to do is to follow along the guidance as best as you can. And know that in each moment, please do invite a lot of gentleness, a lot of curiosity to the experience, and not to strive to get somewhere with this practice. So at any point in time, if the experience is feeling a little intense for you for some reason, feel free to keep your eyes open, feel free to take deep breaths. I'm going to have us practice paying attention to ourselves in both movement and stillness. So a lot of us think meditation is all about just sitting cross-legged on the floor and you have to be silent and still all the time, and that's not true. We want to be able to integrate moments of mindfulness into our day-to-day life as we go about our activities, our interactions, our routines. So the idea is that we're able to pay mindful attention whether we are moving or whether we are still, whether we are speaking or whether we are in silence. So I would like for us to begin. In a while, I'll just give you the guidance to stand up. Not right now, but I know that it's probably a good idea not to be sitting when you've just finished a really delicious lunch. And do know that this practice is not about napping, so please don't take this as a nap time. Mindfulness is really about falling awake more than falling asleep. So, but don't blame yourselves if you feel like you're dozing off. That's really normal. You can keep your eyes open. You can take deep breaths. Okay? All right, so my suggestion is for us now to just put everything aside, including our devices. I know how the phone is almost glued to our palms nowadays, but if you could just let it be for a moment. And I'd like to invite us to perhaps stand so that we can begin a practice of paying mindful attention to ourselves. If you're wearing anything that you feel to be restrictive, feel free to take them off. Jackets, lanyards, glasses even. So you don't really have to see me clearly. If you choose to take your glasses off, you can just listen to the guidance that comes to you. So I don't know how it is for you, but I find that in modern life, we don't get to slow down a lot. We don't get to be still a lot, so every moment counts. And with these movements that I'm going to guide you in, I'd like you to not worry about how you look. Don't worry about doing it right. Don't worry about doing it well. It's just about being with yourself, all right? But we do want to slow down the movements as best as we can. Okay, so I'm going to guide us in taking a standing posture first, all right? So it is best if we're able to have our feet about hip distance apart. For those of us who are joining virtually, you can do the same in the space that you're in. All right, so we want to be able to feel the feet planted flat on the floor with our center of gravity evenly distributed between the two legs. Do your best to stand up straight and tall. So it's almost like there's a string or a rope hanging, keeping your head up from the ceiling. And I'd like for us to just relax the shoulders. So just do anything that you can to make it a bit more relaxed. Okay, have your arms hanging down the sides of the body, fingers loose and relaxed. And maybe we can just begin by taking 3 deep breaths together. All right, and really make each breath count. When you breathe in, we're just going to lift our shoulders up towards the ears, and as we breathe out, we're just going to drop the shoulders back down. Okay, we'll do it really slowly. All right, when you're ready, let's take the first deep breath in, lifting the shoulders, and breathing out, dropping the shoulders back down. Great, one more time, lifting, breathing in. Slowly exhaling, dropping the shoulders. One last time, deep, deep breath. Take your time with this exhalation, breathing all the way out, relaxing the shoulders, and just dropping your attention all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. So once again, get a sense of the body weight resting on the 2 legs, how the feet are coming in contact with the floor beneath you. Feel how the floor of this auditorium is supporting you. If your eyes are open, feel free to close them if you like, or just drop your gaze to the floor in front of you. At this moment, you might notice light filtering through the eyelids. You may feel the temperature of the room, the coolness of the room against the skin. And I'd like to invite you to just bring very gentle awareness to the body breathing. And notice how from the 3 deep breaths that we had taken, and how the breath has returned to a more natural pace. And so now there is no need to change the quality of the breath. This is how you are breathing in this moment, and let's explore just letting it be. And see if you can follow the breath all the way in and all the way out. There may be moments when your attention gets pulled away, maybe pulled away by the sounds around you, pulled away by movements, pulled away by the thoughts in your own mind. Reminding ourselves that this is a pause that doesn't require us to change our experience. So if thoughts are here for you right now, just allow the thoughts to be here. And then return your attention to the breath. This is a really simple practice of following the breath, knowing that you're breathing in as you're breathing in, knowing that you're breathing out as you're breathing out. And now we're going to work in some really gentle, mindful movements with the arms. When you next breathe in, I'd like you to pick up your right arm and stretch it up towards the ceiling above you. When you breathe out, just bringing the arm back down. As you breathe in again, bringing the left arm up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, bringing it back down. So just continuing to move like this, slowly, gently stretching the arms one at a time. Breathing in, stretching up. Breathing out, releasing. And it's best to follow the pace of your natural breath. So all of us might be moving the arms a little differently. If your breath is shorter, you might move a little faster. If your breath is longer, you might move slower, and that's fine. Just pay attention to the whole body, breathing and moving, breathing and moving. Staying with this experience for just a couple more stretches. Going for one last stretch. With the breath out, bringing both arms back down, coming back to our standing posture. Let's just stay like this for a while. Notice any shifts, any changes in the experience of the body. Is there temperature? A sense of heat or warmth? Are there sensations of pressure somewhere, like tightness, soreness? Maybe there's relaxation. Maybe there isn't, and that's okay. You might pay attention to the quality of the breath. The heartbeat. Good, and now when you're ready, I'd like to invite you, if your eyes are closed, to just open them very gently. And for the rest of the time, we're going to practice taking a pause in stillness in the sitting posture. So keeping an awareness on the body, I'd like to invite you to take a seat. And as you're sitting, you might notice how the body is moving. So a suggestion for an optimal posture for sitting so that we don't fall asleep is to have your back as straight as you can. And to have your legs uncrossed and have your feet planted flat on the floor. Close your eyes if you like. If not, just lower the gaze to the floor in front of you. And for the first few minutes, I'd just like for us to have our awareness open, receptive to whatever that may be here for you. There is not one specific object that you are supposed to focus on or pay attention to. So this is an all-encompassing, inclusive kind of attention. So from moment to moment, you may notice the presence of sound. The presence of thoughts. Maybe there are emotions lingering in the mind, in the body. Pay attention to the felt sense of the body, what is showing up. Notice the mind getting pulled away again, and then bringing it back to the immediate experience of the body. Perhaps noticing the breath. For many of us, it's perhaps been a long day, fruitful few days. We may be feeling tired. We may be feeling energized. Now, I'd like to invite us to pay more attention to the body. Is there a specific part of the body that is needing your attention right now? A part of the body calling for your attention. It could be the neck, it could be the shoulders, it could be the chest, the lungs, and the heart. For some of us, it could be the breath at the belly, or anywhere else that makes sense for you. And I invite you to bring a palm or two and just resting the palm over this part of the body that you have identified. Again, don't worry about how you look. Feeling that touch, that contact with yourself. Finding a way to acknowledge your presence in this space, in this room, in this city. Finding a way to thank yourself for showing up today. Let's just enjoy a few moments of silence. Now please feel free to return your palms, your hands back to the lap or the sides of the body. And as we arrive at the end of the practice, I invite you to bring a smile to your face if that feels okay for you. And we're going to transition out of the practice by taking a deep, deep breath in. Take your time with the exhalation, breathing all the way out. When you're ready, you can open your eyes or widen your eyes. Thank you, everyone, for practicing with me. Thank you.